Hey guys, welcome to episode 27 of Teens and Faith Catholic Conversations. I'm your host Annie, and I'm joined by my co-host Gianna.
Hey, what's up?
So before we get into this episode, we wanted to start off with our prayer. O Saint Philomena, Virgin and Martyr, pray for us that, through thy most powerful intercession, we may obtain that purity of mind and heart which leads to the perfect love of God. Amen. So Gianna, what do we have coming up this episode?
Um, this episode we will be interviewing this girl named Allie, Elena, either one. Uh, and yeah, we'll just do the quote thing again since that has just been working like fire for us. So we're just gonna do that. And yeah.
So basically, like when we first started the podcast, Elias was like, "Oh my gosh, if like Elias ever heard." He's like, "Oh my gosh, if you guys ever get emails, you should like do an entire segment about emails and I'll write you a jingle." And he did like 6 months ago, and we've just never used it, but we're gonna use it today. So cue the email jingle.
It's time to read the emails.
So I think that's how long it was. I don't know. Anyways, but Gianna's going to read the email. So
All right. So there we got an email January 16th from Daisy Howe, I think. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your last name. All right, it says, "Hello, Gianna and Annie. My name is Daisy. I am a traditional Catholic girl, 17, from New Brunswick, Canada. I was a mission kid in Prince Edward Island up until 3 years ago when our family moved to NB in order to be part of a bigger parish. I just recently found your podcast and now I can't stop watching. What a great idea to start something like that for teens. I love listening to all your stories and interviews. They are so fun and encouraging. Thank you so much. Um, it's so nice to know that there are lots of other teens out there who share the same faith and interests as me. I know in a lot of your interviews you ask about different ways of getting to know other young traditional Catholics, so I just thought I would share this link with you. The link is called Young Adult Weekend, Our Lady of Victory Catholic Church. So um, you can look it up. They just got started. So I looked at their page. They have some stuff on there, not a whole lot, but because they just got started. But yeah, it's really interesting. It is a get together for young traditional Catholics happening in London, Ontario. Incidentally, at the parish that Holly and Mandy from What is a Woman podcast goes to for ages 17 to 33. It is rather similar to YAG, but it just started, so not many people know about it yet. I was wondering if you would consider sharing it on your podcast so that the word gets around, and also if you had any family members or friends that might be interested. London, Ontario is only 6 hours from Cincinnati, Ohio. Thank you both so much, and may God bless you and your amazing podcast. By the way, Saint Philomena is one of my patron saints, so I love that you choose her as your podcast patron. So, thank you so much, Daisy. We really appreciated that. And we were really excited to get that email. So,
yeah,
yeah, everybody check it out. Um, and yeah, once we get old enough, we'll probably visit that.
yep. Yeah,
So, what have you been up to, Annie?
literally nothing. Like school and nannying, and that is probably it.
Yeah, I haven't done much of any. I mean, the only thing that was different, I guess, was um on Epiphany this year, obviously. My dad got surgery done on his head, and I don't know why. Like he was like, "Oh, it's just something I gotta go do and everything like that." I'm like, and he's like, "Don't worry about it." I'm like, "Oh, okay." But he was at the hospital all day, so I was like, "Oh, okay." And he came back, and he had to take these like antibiotics to help with the pain in his head, and he had an allergic reaction to it. His eyes puffed up and his cheeks did too. He looked like a chipmunk for a while. Or if anyone knows who Rocky Balboa is, after a fight, that's what my dad looked like. Rocky Balboa.
Wow.
But yeah, it was bad. He said though it looked worse than it actually felt, so like it didn't hurt or anything. But yeah, it was just it was crazy because he knows that I worry about things. My mom worries about things. So he was like, "Don't worry about it. It'll be fine." And then he comes back and he's got all this like puffiness, and I'm like, "What happened to you?"
Wow.
But yeah, so yeah. All right. So the quote that we're reading today is from Saint Therese. We picked her because she has easy quotes. We were looking at a bunch of quotes last night, and we could not figure out an easy one that we could just talk about because they're all so much more experienced, and we're so yeah.
Little.
Yeah. Exactly. We don't know what to talk about. So we chose Saint Therese. So the quote is, "We practice charity much better when we are helping a person who is less appealing to us." Now, boy, do I have stories for you. Um, so I'm melancholic, just like Saint Therese. So I have a harder time. Like, okay, honestly, I think, yeah, when I met Annie, I believed that she did not dislike anybody. She just seemed to get along with everybody. And she's like looking at me now like, no.
I
Um,
don't. There's many
yeah,
people I do not get along with, but I'm a good pretender, so it's fine.
yeah, yeah, Annie's a lot better than me. Um, but yeah, so okay. One thing that happened today was like I was gonna go talk to somebody. And my mom was like, and I don't like this person that much. And my mom was like, at least like try to start a conversation 3 times with them, not just one time and be like, oh no, I'm done. Try 3 times. And I'm just looking at her like, no, there ain't no way I'm doing that. But I ended up doing it, and it was fine. It was hard at first because there were a lot of thoughts going through my head, but that's the point. Then I remembered the quote because we came up with it today. I remember the quote, and I was like, okay, Saint Therese said herself too. Um, Charity is much better practiced when it is someone less appealing. And so I thought about that. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna do this for God. You know, it's a lot better. I gain a lot more merit when it's somebody I don't like. The point is like even if you're just talking to somebody, like try exchanging a few words with them. Small talk, even just small talk. Doesn't need to be long. Just do it and do it for God. It is very difficult. Let me tell you, it is very, very difficult. But once you start going at it, then it becomes easier. Like I was talking to my mom last night. And she said what she was saying is that the first step is always the hardest. Like picking up your cross is the hardest part, just accepting it. Once you do that, it's all just ease on down the road. It's so easy. Like not so easy. You're gonna run into trials. But I mean, it's it's easier once it's like, okay, I'm doing this for God, and it's true. He makes it a lot easier when you do it all for love and you do it all for God. It is a lot easier to accomplish so many different things. So,
Yeah, and like Saint Therese, I don't know if you guys have heard this story, and I'm probably gonna butcher it, but there was this one nun at her convent that like nobody really got along with super well, so she made it her goal to like become this nun's best friend, to the point where like she got a talking to about like how she can't just hang out with this one specific person. So yeah, Saint Therese always like I don't want to say took it like too far because it's not too far, but it's like she took it like way farther than any of us ever could. So
yeah, she took
yeah,
it
it was
very seriously. Yeah.
yes, she did. And yeah, like for example about like people you don't get along with. I know this is gonna blow your guys' mind, but there are people in this world I don't get along with. I know it's crazy. But yeah, so for example, there's this one girl who's lived on my street like my whole life, and we've just never gotten along, like ever. And randomly, like I don't know, she was walking down the street one day, and I was like, "Ugh, I should probably talk to her." So we like had a conversation. It was fine, and you could tell like none of us wanted to be in the conversation, but it was fine. And then I see her like when I did orchestra, I saw her at the place I did orchestra at a lot. and we'd always like cross each other's paths. And I would always like stop and say hi to her and talk to her. And then we'd end up talking for like 5 minutes and then she'd be late to class. So like, yeah. But yes, you kind of just gotta like get over it, I guess. I don't know. That sounds get over it sounds like so rude or something. It sounds like something my mom would say. But yeah, I don't know. And then yeah, like throughout your whole life, you're not gonna like everybody. Like my dad is a cop and he's the guy like if there's cops in academy like in the academy, my dad's the guy who has to kick them out if they're not like good enough to be a cop. I'm saying that in quotations, but it's like, not everyone's built to be a cop. So he's like the one who has to like tell people that like they're getting kicked out of the academy. And there's been people like saying bad words at him and like crying in his office because my dad's telling him that. But my dad has this gift to put himself in like the person he's talking to like shoes or whatever. So like he knows exactly what to say. Like he has to be the one to like tell like people when like something bad happened, like if somebody died, like my dad has to be the one to like go tell their family members because he's just so good at it. And it's ridiculous. It's a God-given gift. It's crazy. So like for example, the other night I've been like stressing over some things. So my dad was talking to me for a while and he made me feel a lot better. So shout out to my dad if you're listening. But yeah, he is crazy. If you ever need advice about anything, go to my dad because he is like crazy. He just knows how to make everybody feel better. Like so Sammy's my little brother, and he is like a super big hypochondriac. So he always thinks he's dying. He's like, Dad, my toenail's like falling off. I'm gonna die tonight in my sleep. And it's like, my dad has this gift to get into his crazy brain. And it's like, I used to be like that too when I was a little kid. I literally always said I was dying. Like, okay. I know this is totally segueing like from what we were talking about, but I have to tell this story. I don't think I've told Gianna. I've literally told one of my friends ever about this story. But so basically, before I got diagnosed with celiac, I had all these really weird symptoms. Like I felt like I was gonna pass out a lot, like my mouth would go numb. It was really, really bizarre. And one night, a little 12-year-old me heard this like weird clicking noise in the back of my head. All right. So I get in the shower. I'm like, okay, it'll go away. And it's just like, it was so weird. It was like this weird little click, right? So I come out of the shower. I'm just bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, Dad, my brain is clicking. I need to go to the ER. My brain is clicking. I'm going to die. And he was, dying laughing. And he's like, Are you serious? And I'm just like standing in front of him, like dead serious, like my brain's clicking. And like every time I heard that sound, I'd be like, See, it's clicking, it's clicking, it's clicking. And I'd like turn my head. It was so funny. And I remember like he was like, Okay, just try to go to bed, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like laying in my bed and I'm like literally shaking because I'm convinced my brain is clicking and it's about to explode or something. So I like run into my bed. My older brother, my mom, and Elias are up, and Gianna's just dying laughing. Anyways, keep in mind I was a 12-year-old, guys. I wasn't even like a tiny kid. So I go out there and I'm just screaming and crying like my brain is clicking. Dad, take me to the ER. And it was so bad. And Elias just like flops off the couch and just starts dying laughing, rolling on the floor. Like it was so bad. I was literally convinced my brain was going to explode. Like I was convinced I was gonna die that night. It was so bad. So like my dad like made me watch some like show or whatever to get my like mind off of it and it still didn't work. So like there's a video of me on his phone. Like, Dad, send this video to a doctor. I need to explain what's going on. So he's recording me. And I'm just like explaining everything that's happening. I'm in my pajamas. I have like my sleeping mask on. It is hilarious. Like part of me wants to play this video at the end of the podcast. It is just so bad and funny. But yeah, anyways, so yep.
Well,
Gianna's just dying. Anyways, my point being is like my dad is really good at talking to people who he doesn't necessarily get along with. So it's just everybody should try to be like that, I guess. But I know it's a lot harder for some people, like Gianna.
oh, wait.
Anyways, but yeah, sorry for the long segue. That was yeah. But I guess Gianna and I, when we were first starting the podcast, I'll just like randomly tell Gianna like super off-topic things about like random people she's never even heard of, or just like random things. So when we were first starting the podcast, she's like, we should just have a segment called Random Stories with Annie. And I was like,
Yeah.
maybe we should. So that was Random Stories with Annie, episode 1. Comment down below if you want episode 2. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, comment. Please just give it a bunch of likes or something. Like we need to do more of these. The segments with random thoughts with Annie. They're interesting. Okay.
Sometimes they are.
Yeah. And they're also funny, like that one. The brain clicking and everything.
Yeah, we call it juicy clicky brain because I also was like screaming my brain was juicy. I just forgot to add that part in because that's really embarrassing. So yeah, I apparently have a juicy clicky brain. So if anyone's ever wondering why I'm dumb, it's because of my juicy clicky brain. Just saying. So
Okay, honestly, this is gonna be kind of weird, but it reminded me because we were on the topic of brains. I used to think that you could like actually eat brains and that they would taste good. Like I thought brains were basically like um cauliflower or like the like kind of eggish type thing. I'm
what?
sorry. That is so weird. But I'm serious. I used to think you could actually eat brains.
Okay. Before Gianna keeps talking, I'm just gonna cut her off right there, and we are going to Allie's interview. All right, so now it's time to interview Allie.
Hi, my name is Elena. I'm 14, and I'm in ninth grade. I don't really know what else to say.
No, you're good. That's basically an intro I would give. Oh, so that's cool. What are some of your hobbies?
Um, I kind of bounce back and forth between a lot of them, but they're typically like music and I'd say drawing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
What
fun.
instrument do you play?
I play piano and I'm working on playing the organ, but I haven't been able to get around to it like very much recently. And I've played other instruments, but my main is the piano.
All right,
Okay,
Yeah.
that
that's
sounds pretty
cool.
cool.
That's
How
really
long have you been playing the piano and organ?
The piano I've been playing for 4 years, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
And the organ, not very long. I started over the summer.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, I know people have said like it's a lot harder to play the organ than the piano, but like would you say like since you play the piano, it's like easier to play the organ? Or like are they kind of the same or not really?
Well, they're like it's a different way of playing it. Like you still know like all the same notes, so that makes it easier, but it's a completely different method of like playing it. For the piano, how you touch the key, you can create different sounds, I guess, like louder or softer, but with the organ, um it stays the same. But then when you're playing a church song, the way you would play on a piano, it sounds choppy, so you have to play like really smooth, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I could never play the organ. It sounds like really hard. We're trying to get my little brother to learn it, but no, I don't think you'll be able to.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you have a favorite song you've ever played on the piano?
On the piano, my favorite one, uh, I think the Moonlight Sonata was really fun to learn how to play.
You've played that? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. That's so pretty. I'm so jealous. I love that song so much. It's wow. That is like gotta be one of my favorite classical songs ever. I'm gonna start nerding out, so just move on.
My second favorite on the piano. I'm still in the process of learning it, but it's the Invention Number 8 by Bach.
All
It's
Oh,
right.
okay.
it's difficult to learn, but it's still really fun.
Yeah, I've played some stuff from like Bach, and it's he's really like he's got his easy music, but most of it's extremely complicated. So it's just like you
Mhm.
got to be really good to play Bach stuff, like Bach and Beethoven. It's like no, I mean at least with Vivaldi, like some of his stuff is a little bit easier, like Morning Mood. Okay, I'm sorry, you guys don't care. Anyway,
Well, what is your favorite subject and least subject in school and why?
My favorite, I kind of like language arts. That one, it's not terrible.
Hmm.
Mhm.
But then my least favorite, history can be boring sometimes depending on what what period it is.
I totally
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, some periods can be really, really slow and boring.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like all periods, in my opinion, but whatever.
Yeah, you and Annie would get along really well.
Yeah, I despise history. I honestly I just don't like school in general. Like for example,
Yeah.
today. So I told my mom at the beginning of ninth grade, Gianna's laughing because she knows where this is going. I told my mom at the beginning of ninth grade that I wanted to keep doing Latin. So I get third form Latin this year, and it is so completely difficult. I absolutely hate it. So we're going through my school, seeing what I need help with and what I need to redo. And my mom's like, okay, I feel like you're just gonna have to keep redoing Latin. We should what are we gonna do about this? And I was like, how about I just drop it? And she's like, no, your Latin book was super expensive. You can't just drop it. And I was like, I will pay you $100 out of my wallet if I can drop Latin. And she was like, that is a deal. And I was like, let's go. So no more Latin, baby. But yeah, I just hate school so much.
Yeah. I can relate to that. It's really slow.
Yeah, it's bad.
Mhm. Yeah. It was funny. I remember Annie telling me that this morning, and I'm like, "You actually got out of that? Like, I had to take 5 years of Latin." I'm like, if I only knew you in the past, I was like, maybe I could do the same thing. Maybe I could get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing Latin for a long time, and my mom was kind of like, you know the basics, but you're dumb, so there's no point in continuing on. But yeah, all right. Moving on.
Yeah.
What is your favorite food?
Um, I like I'll eat anything
Mhm.
except for sushi. Like any any type of stuff like seafood, I don't really like seafood. But unless it's fried fish. I like that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'll eat anything besides that. So I don't really have a favorite food.
Really?
Okay.
Huh. That's interesting. I think you're the first person to say that. That's
Yeah.
kind of funny. I mean, that's basically my brother Bennett, though. I mean, all right. So when you ask him what his favorite food is, he'll be like, meat. I'm like, what kind of meat? Just meat in general. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, he'll really eat anything. So
Yeah.
he just inhales it. So,
Wow.
But I will say backstrap like from a deer because my family does like a lot of hunting and stuff when we butcher our own deer. That is my absolute favorite. So I guess if I had to decide, that would be it. Like it's kind of like a steak.
yeah,
Okay.
deer meat is
Yeah.
Wow.
so good. Yeah. Wait, so can you tell us a little bit about that? Like how you
Yeah.
hunt and everything? Yeah.
My dad is a really big hunter and he has a friend. Like he takes us hunting for like the youth hunt and stuff, which is basically like an early hunting thing that like I don't know how old you have to be, but you have to be a minor, I'm pretty sure. And then you have to have like an adult with you. So my dad
Mhm.
usually takes us on that. And then if we get a deer, we put it up in the barn. I haven't been made to gut the deer yet,
Yikes.
luckily, because that's bad. But yeah, he has a friend who shows us how to skin the deer and then how to cut it up and what the certain types of meat and stuff are, and shows
Okay.
us the special cuts. So, and then we
All
get
right.
taught how to like package it all up too. So,
Wow,
Wow.
that is I could never do that. It's like animal killing is no, I mean I eat meat all the time, but it's like I just could not make myself do that. Ugh, okay.
Didn't
I
make
have
sense.
a lot of
Yeah.
funny stories about having to put animals down on the farm. They're not the best, but they're funny.
Oh, really? Can you tell us some
Yeah.
of those?
Yeah. There was one time we have pigs and it was the middle of the winter. There was like close to a foot of snow and the pigs we got weren't very like healthy and we had a
Mhm.
barn somewhere like a little bit further back from the house. Like it wasn't really close, it was a bit of a walk. Um but we made like a fence and he got his head stuck under it. I had just gotten out of the shower and I was getting changed and I heard mom talking to somebody and I was like, it was something about the pig being stuck and I was like, Mom, do you want me to do the pig? And she was like, yes, please. And so um I went out to the back. My hair was still wet, but I went out to the back with the 22 and we got the pig unstuck, which was really difficult. And so we pulled it to the front of the barn and I had to shoot him. But we had one of we had one of my mom's friends, one of her older friends, and she was from the city, so it really wasn't the best for her. She claims she wasn't traumatized, but she used her fancy boots to cover up the blood with the rest of the snow.
Oh.
And the next morning, my sisters had a stuffed animal pig, and she looked at the pig, and then she looked at me, and she goes, "I will never look at a pig the same again."
Oh my gosh.
Wait, but
Yikes.
you actually shot a pig, so like you have
Yeah,
experience with shooting?
yeah.
What? How many times have you like shot animals?
A lot. I
Oh,
don't. I don't.
holy cow.
I don't know how many times, but it's been a few. Yeah. My
Oh
brother,
my gosh.
my brother taught me like how to handle the gun, how to take care of it, and how to match the bullets with it. But I'm not good with like what you call it, like the different names of the gun. I just know how to.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. I feel okay, so like you're the only other girl I know who like has an interest in like guns and hunting because one of my old friends like she got a gun for Christmas and I was like there's no way like a teenage girl is happy about getting a gun for Christmas. And then you're talking about like shooting animals and I'm like, okay, maybe Anna's not the only one, but it's just like
When I was 4, my dad got me a pink and black BB gun for Christmas. I
wow,
was
so
really
it's
happy. We still have it out in the barn.
oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. That's
That's so
crazy.
funny.
Well, we had this was like many episodes ago, but
Uh-huh.
like we had Anna Brueggemann on, and she
Uh-huh.
was saying that she really likes to shoot animals too, but she also lives on a farm, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That
I'm
is
just like, what? What do you mean? I
after
mean,
having all these people on, I'm like realizing how much of an indoor and like city girl I am. And it's like I don't even live in a big city. Like yeah, I live in a neighborhood, but it's like my city has 60,000 people, like max. So it's
Yeah.
like I never want to live on the
I'm not much of an outside person either, but like if someone gets me out there to like do something like that, I mean, I'll go.
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
I
Wow.
just
All
need like
right.
motivation to go outside.
Yeah. Oh my
yeah.
gosh. That's crazy. I don't think you could pay me like any amount of money in the world to shoot an animal. That's just like props to you for having the guts to do that. I could literally never do that.
Oh
Wow.
man. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yikes.
But well, that was a long ride. It was a fun one though. I liked it. All right. So this is the question we usually get stumbled upon too. So, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes, I love pineapple on pizza. Pineapple on pizza with barbecue and
Oh,
Ooh,
bacon
I have
bits.
to try that. That sounds
It's
genius.
delicious.
Wow. Okay. Have you done pineapple on pizza with ranch though?
Yeah, but it's not the same.
Okay, I've
I'm not a
I've
huge
done it.
fan of like ranch on pizza. That's not my favorite.
Okay, the only reason I like ranch on pizza is because we have a restaurant in town called Pizza Ranch. So it's like perfect, which is weird because they don't like sell pizza on ranch, but it's called Pizza Ranch because it's like a like I don't know, like a ranch, like not like the
oh,
dressing, but like a ranch, like a farm. Like they got
Yeah,
horses everywhere and stuff. So yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't really like barbecue sauce though, so I kind of just I'll have to try
yeah.
it. I'll have to try it.
I'm not a
what
huge
do you
fan
mean
of
you
it
don't like
either,
barbecue
but
sauce?
on pizza, it's different.
All right, I'll have to try it. I'll definitely have to
'Cause,
try it.
yeah, there's a special pizza place in our little town. It's like a teeny tiny town, but the pizza is so good. We first discovered the barbecue and pineapple when we were living in Arizona, and I loved it. Like every single time we would like it was a pizza day, I would be like, "Can we get this pizza?" And then there would be times where my mom was like, "No, it's Friday. It has bacon too." And so,
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
sad.
but then we came here and they had one, and so I was really happy about that.
yeah.
Nice.
That
Cause
sounds
it
like
gives,
my mom.
cause yeah, there's a
She's
certain
always got to remind me it's Friday because I
yeah.
always forget. Like
Good.
one time, I think it was my dad. He reminded me on Thursday. He's like, "Hey, tomorrow's Friday, so no meat." I'm like, "Oh, okay." The next day, started reaching for like this beef stick, and my mom's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, I forgot." I always
Wow.
forget. It's
I always
insane.
forget too. It's bad.
I know. Like, well, I'm glad I'm not the only one because this was becoming a big problem for a while. But
Wow. All right. Well, moving on. What is your favorite mystery of the rosary?
I really like the coronation.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, a lot of
That was
people have
my
said that. It's
favorite.
really pretty,
Yeah.
so.
It's
Mm-hmm.
a really pretty mystery to meditate upon. And there was this one picture that my mom and I both loved. It was a picture of Mary in like a white veil and like robe, and it was like a really long veil, and she had like hundreds of angels like holding onto it on the sides.
Oh,
It was
mhm.
like my
wow.
favorite.
That is, I
Wow.
think I've
That
seen
sounds
that
really
picture
sweet.
before. It's really pretty, yeah.
Mm.
They're
Wow.
like, obviously, like, most pictures of Mary are really pretty, but like, you get some of those, like, even like the rare ones, and it's like,
Yeah.
wow, that is really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I'd say the Coronation is probably my favorite too.
hmm
So, who is your favorite saint and why?
My favorite saint. They're all like amazing, but I really like Saint Perpetua. She's my
Ooh.
patron saint. Um,
Okay.
I discovered her when I was like little because we would have like there was these cartoons, saint cartoons, and she had one of them and it was my absolute favorite. I would watch it over and over and over again. So that's like that was that was how I discovered her. And I really liked well, in the cartoon, Little Me thought she was really pretty. That was one of the reasons that Little Me liked
Wow.
her. But now that I'm older, it takes like a lot of courage to leave your dad and your husband and child um, for something else. And um, she left with one of her best friends, which was also one of her servants. And her dad didn't like that, obviously, because
Mm-mm.
she was higher up. But it was very inspirational.
Yeah, yeah, it
Wow.
really is. And yeah, don't feel alone with the whole pretty thing. I chose my confirmation saint because her feast day is on my birthday. That's the reason why I chose her.
Wow. Okay.
True. Like when you're little like that,
Yeah,
you
when
just
you're
like,
little.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Well, okay. That's like obviously like okay, never mind. What I was gonna say is so I know this family who so like my friend's older brother's name is James, so his confirmation saint is James. Then his little brother got confirmed, and this kid's name is like Nico, which is his real name's like Nikolai, which is like Russian for Nicholas.
Yeah.
So Mikey, who's his little brother, chose Nicholas to be his confirmation saint.
Oh my
So it's just
goodness.
like they're just gonna keep doing that, but yeah, it's very original.
that's funny.
Yeah. All right. So, what is your favorite religious holiday?
I really like Christmas. Um, because winter is my favorite season. Because I don't know, it's just really pretty. And then the Christmas Mass has always been my favorite. It's like um you get to stay up late to go to church, and the lights are so pretty like in the church, and then they have the altar all decorated, and um the ceremony is absolutely gorgeous. So,
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Christmas is great. And like just, like you said, the winter season. Like it's just really pretty, and I feel like a lot of people like it. Like my mom and I were watching this video the other day. So I don't know if you know who Abby Bird is. Um, but she's big for like the modest dressing and everything like that, and she can sing really well. She does a lot of church songs and everything like that. So but she had like dresses planned out for like every month of the year, and all really modest and pretty, and she had a ton of them once it got to like October, November, and December. Like for the rest of the months it was like one dress and like one picture, and then like October all of a sudden there's like 10 dresses, and like it keeps going down to December
Yeah.
and you got 50 of them. Just like different ones, so it's like for girls and stuff,
Mhm.
even clothing in that time frame is fun and pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your favorite liturgical season?
I'm not too sure. I don't know.
Oh, really? Okay.
Really. I was thinking about it earlier, but I can't think of one.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. They're all good in their own way and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, yeah. But
All right. So, what is your favorite religious quote? And if you're like Gianna, you won't have one. So, yeah.
I don't because I forgot to look for some and I don't know.
That's fine. That's fine.
yeah.
I mean, there's like so many good ones. It's kind of like you could just like pick a random
Yeah.
one. But yeah,
You
I
can.
struggled with that question too. It's like, I don't know. I just like any quote by Saint Therese, like look at my door. It's like completely covered. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. That's one like a lot of people have trouble on, so like no worries.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah, I was struggling the last time to find a Saint quote. So then I got like this book for Christmas that was like inspirational Saint quotes or whatever. And so there's one for every day, so I can just flip through them
Yeah.
and I'm like, hey, maybe I might have an answer the next time I'm asked this question. Um,
Yes.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. I was like, oh, I'll just like remember off the top of my head some random quote that I really liked. And then I got asked the question. I'm like, I have no idea.
Okay, so during
Yeah.
that episode, I knew Gianna didn't have a favorite quote, so that's why I asked it, so I could embarrass
What?
her on
What?
air.
Why would you do that to me?
I'm I'm dead serious. And then she started going on Pinterest like while we're filming. And I cut this part out, but Elias and I, like Elias Larson and I, started singing the Jeopardy
Yeah.
theme song. And it was just it was so bad. But
Oh
yeah.
man. Oh
That's
yeah,
awesome.
good
Yeah.
times. Yeah, I know. All right, moving on. Dresses or skirts?
Skirts. I like dresses. But if they're like a plain dress, it's harder for me to style them. So if they come with like something to style it with, then it's okay. But skirts for me are easier.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree. I like live in skirts all the time. It's like I don't know, and it's like when you get older, it's like dresses are either like super fancy or like
Yeah,
super little kiddish. And it's like there's not a good
exactly.
in between. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I just live in skirts all year round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with skirts, tucking in your shirt is the absolute hardest
Oh.
challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and then it comes undone and it's just like you look all
Yep.
frumpy and it's like ugh.
Yep.
And like you also have to wear like certain shoes with skirts so you don't look
Yeah.
dumb or whatever. Like I remember one time I was going to it was probably like Target or something and I put on my sneakers and my mom just looked at me and started laughing. And I was like, "What? What's wrong?" And she's like, "Go change." And I'm like, "Fine." So I put on my boots like my Uggs, like big Uggs, not like the small ones, like the big ones. And she was just dying
These
laughing. And
are
she's like,
so
I'm
hard.
not taking you out like this. So then I went to the store and got nice shoes. So now I
Yeah.
have appropriate to wear skirts. But
Shoes are
Yeah.
insanely difficult too.
I know it's so dumb. But
Mm-hmm.
It
speaking of
is.
shoes, next question, heels or flats?
I prefer flats because I never fully learned how to walk in heels. They are so hard.
Okay,
I know.
that's crazy. When I was
If they
little,
if
I
they
like
have if they have like a big like a fat heel, then it's easier to walk in and they're
Yeah.
nice cuz like they're pretty. But If they don't,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna end up breaking my ankle or something.
It's funny that you say that because like when I was little, my mom had this like pair of heels and I would like walk around the house wearing them and then I like slipped one time, but I didn't like break anything. But I sorry to all the boys listening, we're gonna be going on a rant for a while, but I love heels so much. I wear heels like every Sunday to church, like when we say the rosary, it's just oh my gosh, I love heels. Not super big ones.
They
The big
make
ones
they
are
make
really
you they
obnoxious.
make you feel more feminine and more pretty.
Yes, they
Yeah.
do. And it's like I am so clumsy, so it helps me be like less clumsy. Like the amount of times I've slipped on the ice wearing my heels is absolutely hilarious. Like, oh gosh.
I
I'll
know.
slip wearing heels or flats.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I get that. It's funny to like I think it was 3 years ago now. My aunt and uncle were getting married and my aunt was like, "Oh, do you want to be a bridesmaid?" I'm like, "Really?" Like I've never been that before. I was terrified.
Yeah.
But then she got the dress and the shoes that I had to wear and they were heels, but like they were the skinny heels and they were like
Oh,
2 inches or something. I was like, I'm not walking in these. I've never walked in heels in my life. I can't do that, so she got me flats instead, which I was thankful for it. But like I can wear like wedges, but like I can't
yeah.
walk in just the heel. Like
Yeah.
no, I can't do that. I'd be terrified.
Mhm.
What is okay? We got some of these questions out of order. What is your favorite religious book?
Favorite religious book? Any book by Susan Peak.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah, she's
okay.
really good.
Yeah. I think I got one of her books for Christmas. So hold on, let me check. Yeah. Have you read this one?
I have. That one's my favorite.
Really? Okay, I'm really excited to read it. It's like The King's
You
Prayer.
have
If
to. You
anyone
have to
listening.
read it. You have to
Okay.
hurry and read it.
I'll read it and I'll let you know how it goes. I'm excited to read it, but I'm like, okay, I'm bad because I like get halfway through a book and then get a new one and start it. So like I literally have a bookshelf in my room that is just full of unfinished religious books I'm trying to get done, but it's yeah, it's so bad.
He makes the characters so likable.
Really?
She
Like
Okay.
does.
some
Yeah.
characters almost too likable.
Wow.
I know she
But
does. She does a great job with it though. Like
mhm.
she's
she
really
makes
good at
she
it.
makes it interesting because like some spiritual books, like if a book for me isn't like interesting, if it doesn't catch my attention right away, I can't read it. That's
Yeah,
just the way I am. So, starting her books, it's hard to put it down. So it's like really good for me.
that is
Wow.
good. Yeah.
I'll have to keep
Yeah.
that in mind because my mom's always looking for more books for me to read, even though I'm literally a bookworm, but whatever. All right. Next question. If you could go back, wait. Yeah. Okay. If you could go back in time and meet one saint, which saint would you meet?
Um, I didn't think about this before. But let me see. I really like Saint Infina, but I would probably want to meet Saint Perpetua.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny with like Saint Diphnah. There's a joke in my family that my mom's crazy. So we started. So like after the rosary, my little brother Nicholas leads the fifth mystery because he wants to be a priest and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and he does like a little like I don't want to say the litany of the saints because that's so long, but he'll just like shout out random saints like Saint Nicholas, pray for us or whatever. And so we started doing Saint Diphnah for a while, just because like we were convinced my mom's crazy. But yeah, and we said like the Saint Diphnah novena and everything, but she does seem a lot more calm now. So maybe my
That's
mother was
awesome.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I pray to Saint Divna just because I actually do have mental problems. But I know that for a fact, okay? Even my mom was like, I asked my mom about it like last night because she was like, "You're weird." I'm like, "Well, you're weird." And she's like, "Hey, well, no, you're weird. Like you have serious mental problems and I can get a bunch of people to agree with me, not just in this house, but outside of it." I'm like, "Okay, that's just cold."
I agree.
Hey, wait a minute. Okay, you are no. All right. What is your favorite religious song?
Religious what?
Like a
Oh,
religious like
Religious
religious
song.
song.
song or
Sorry, it didn't process.
Ah, yeah.
I really like um the ones you sang like for the crowning of Our Lady. I forgot what the name of it
Um,
was. But
yeah,
Mm.
what's it called? Oh, Immaculate Mary. That's one.
Yes, I love that song. Yeah, that's
Hail
we've sang
Holy
that.
Queen, Hail Holy Queen enthroned above. That one. That one's my favorite.
Yeah,
that one's
that one's
really
really
good.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I always like it for the May crowning. Like at my church, we have so there's like one person who holds the pillow to put like the rosary on Mary because we have this Mary statue in our church, and then one person puts the crown on, and like it's always fun to watch it because you have to time it right as they're saying, like as the choir is singing, "Oh Mary, we crown thee." That's when you put the crown on, and it's just like a
Oh,
fun
that's
little
cool.
procession. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow, that's
I love
awesome.
that. That's cute.
yeah.
I'd be so nervous I'd like put the crown on at the wrong time. Like I'd be like a second delayed and everyone's just like staring at you. Sorry, this is the type of stuff my brain thinks about.
One time I had to put the crown on Our Lady and I went back the wrong way. And
Oh no.
sister was like, "Wait, don't Elena come this way." And I was like, "Oh, oops." I was really embarrassed.
Oh
Oh,
gosh.
man. Yeah, I I got to put the crown on one time. I think I was scared, but like I was like I don't know. Honestly, I don't even remember how I felt. I think I was just like, "Oh, okay, put the crown on." I was worried that it was gonna fall off though, and then I found out that there was like this little thing in there to like make it stick on. So I was like, "Oh, easy." But
Yeah.
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 Wow. All right. So what is your favorite kind of weather? I know it's kind of random.
I don't like spring or summer weather. I don't like when it's like really hot and sticky. Um, I kind of like fall weather. Like
Okay.
I like how the winter looks, but I like fall weather.
That is, yeah, I like fall weather too. It's like the perfect temperature because you can like wear sweatshirts, so it's like
Exactly.
you're not
Yes.
hot and like you don't have to layer up and you're not cold.
Yeah.
And I was born in the fall, so it's like I love the fall, but
Yeah. You don't
yeah.
have to layer up and you don't have to be sweaty while wearing a sweater. And
Mm-hmm.
I love
It's
sweaters, so
perfect.
it is a
Yeah.
win-win.
I am obsessed with sweatshirts as you can tell. But
Are you a night owl or an early bird?
Well, I have stayed up late recently because, well, in my family, it's hard to get like alone time in the morning or the night because they stay up really late and then they wake up really early. So I'll either stay up really late or I if I get good sleep, if I go to bed at a good time, I can wake up at like 7 and be just fine for the rest of the day.
wow.
Wow.
Before anytime before that, it's kind of pushing it if I went to bed late.
Mm, yeah.
So
Okay.
it
I'm just
depends on the
curious.
sleep.
What's like your definition of going to bed late? I want to see if like it's the same as mine.
Um, well, for how little my siblings are, they go to bed like sometimes close to 11, which isn't good for how little they are, and it's kind of annoying, but 10:30 is like their cutoff where they have to be in bed.
Okay. Yeah. For my siblings, it's like I think they go to bed at like 8:30 and then like I don't know. Some of the older ones go to bed later, but then like my dad's always just like, "All right, Elias and Annie, don't stay up too late." And we're like, "All right." So we stayed up till like 2 a.m. like a couple nights ago. But Elias is like, "We went to bed at 11:45, right?" And I'm like, "Totally. Yeah, it was 11:45. I was in bed. I'm passed out right now." But yeah, they didn't ask. They were just like, "How late did you stay up?" And we're like, "A reasonable time." But no wonder we're addicted to caffeine. All
I've
right.
done that before.
Yeah, it's like what teenager hasn't, you know? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right. So, for your last question, what is your favorite type of bag?
Type of bag. Well, I have like one of those small backpacks, but when you go
Mm.
to try to get your wallet out, it's super inconvenient because it has like a flap over the like zipper part.
Mm.
So I have to put it in the side pocket, which is also really hard to take it in and out of. So I'd probably say I don't know the ones that go like over your shoulders. I haven't tried those ones out
Like
yet.
this one?
Yeah, like that. I haven't
I'm
tried those.
obsessed with this.
I haven't tried those yet. But they would definitely be more convenient than the thing I have. But
It definitely.
the ones that go just on the side of your shoulder, they fall off my shoulder all the time and it's so annoying.
Mhm.
Yikes. I mean, the fanny pack I have right now, I think it was only like $40. It's like amazing. I use it
Yeah.
literally every single time I leave the house. I love it so
Yeah.
much. Like I could go on a long rant about how amazing it is. But yeah, it's great. I love it.
Yeah. And also my bag, it's like it's too big. Like I don't need it to be
Aw.
big.
Yikes. That's sad.
It is.
All right. Well, that was your last question. So do you have anything else to add before we let you go?
um I don't think so. Unless
All
you
right.
have any other like random questions you want to ask. But
No, I don't think so. Well, thanks for coming on. It was fun.
yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right, so that wraps up episode 26. Sorry for all the brain talk. Yeah.
Yeah, and oh, right, okay. I'm sorry. Next episode, we are going to be interviewing Father Brueggemann, and Father Brueggemann is actually, like this is like I think we're the only ones who has ever interviewed him before. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. Because, yeah, all the other priests and bishops have been interviewed. But I think him and then Father Simpson have never been interviewed by anyone before. So, we're the first ones to do that. Um,
It's an honor.
uh, yeah. So, yeah, we'll have him on, ask him some questions. And, yeah. So, cool.
As always, God bless and Saint Philomena.
Powerful of God, pray for
Pray for
us.
us.